The dining room table was extended to its full length, all 3 leaves in place. 15 people crammed around it, plates loaded with turkey, stuffing, and Mom's famous sweet potato casserole. The good china. The crystal glasses. Everything perfect. Me. I was sitting between my cousin Rachel and her new husband Derek, picking at my food while everyone else talked about their accomplishments, their plans, their perfect lives. My sister Vanessa was holding court at the far end of the table. She always did. At 28, she had this way of making every conversation revolve around her. Today's topic, her luxury lifestyle coaching business. I'm launching a mastermind program in January, she announced, voice carrying over the chatter. 6 months, $12,000 per person. I'm only taking 10 clients. It's going to be incredibly exclusive. That's wonderful, honey. Mom beamed at her from the head of the table. You're such an entrepreneur. So driven. Aunt Diane leaned forward. What exactly is luxury lifestyle coaching? I help high-achieving women step into their power and claim the abundant life they deserve. It's about mindset, manifestation, and creating wealth consciousness. Sounds like a scam, Uncle Rob muttered into his wine. Vanessa's smile didn't falter. It's actually a rapidly growing industry. My last program had 8 clients and generated $36,000 in revenue. In how many months? I asked quietly. Everyone looked at me. I usually didn't speak much at these gatherings. Over 12 months, Vanessa said, her smile tightening slightly. But that was my beta launch. The new program will be much more successful. I did the math in my head. $36,000 in 12 months was $3,000 per month. Vanessa's rent alone was $2,800. Where do you live again? Rachie asked. I keep forgetting. The Apex building downtown. 2-bedroom, floor-to-ceiling windows, rooftop pool. It's divine. Sounds expensive. It's an investment in my brand. Luxury lifestyle coaches need to live It's about alignment. I took a sip of water and said nothing. Dad was at the other end of the table talking to my cousin Mike about his tech startup. Grandma was showing Aunt Carol photos on her phone. My brother Justin was arguing with Uncle Rob about football. Normal Thanksgiving chaos. Then Mom tapped her wine glass with her fork. Everyone, I want to say something before we get to dessert. Se stood up, glass in hand. I'm so grateful to have all of you here today. Family is everything. And I'm especially proud of my children for being such wonderful examples of success. She gestured to Justin, my son, the architect, designing beautiful buildings that will stand for generations. Justin raised his beer in acknowledgement. My daughter, Vanessa, the entrepreneur, building her own business and living her dreams. Vanessa glowed under the attention. And my daughter Natalie, double quotes, Mom's smile became more fixed. Who works so hard at her computer job. I kept my face neutral. My computer job was senior data analyst at a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company. I made $165,000 a year, but that wasn't as impressive as entrepreneur or architect. To family. Mom raised her glass. To family? Everyone echoed. We drank. Then came dessert pumpkin pie, apple pie, pecan pie, coffee, and tea. The conversation fractured into smaller groups. I was helping Mom clear plates when I heard Vanessa's voice rise from the living room. I don't understand why she's being so difficult about this. It's not like she can't afford it. I froze. Mom touched my arm. Just ignore her. You know how Vanessa gets? What's she talking about? Oh, you know, she mentioned she needed a little help with something, and apparently you said no. It's fine, honey. Don't worry about it. I set down the plates and walked into the living room. Vanessa was on the couch with Aunt Diane, Rachel, and Grandma. All of them looked up when I entered. Natalie, Vanessa's voice was syrupy. We were just talking about you. I heard. What did I say no to? Oh, it's nothing. Just a small loan. I have a cash flow issue with the business perfectly normal for startups and I asked if you could spot me a couple thousand until my next client payments come in. You said no? She laughed lightly. Which is fine, of course. I just thought family helped family, but I guess you have different priorities. The room had gone quiet. More people were drifting in from the dining room, sensing drama. A couple thousand, I repeated. Well, $3,500 to be exact. Just until January, 6 weeks at most. And I said no, very firmly. Via text. You didn't even call to discuss it. I pulled out my phone, found the text thread. Want me to read what you actually asked for? Her smile flickered. That's not necessary. Not emergency. My rent check bounced and landlord is threatening eviction. Need $2,800 by tomorrow or I'm out. Can you wire it? We'll pay back by end of month promise. I looked up. That was October 15th. This is November 23rd. I never got paid back. And this wasn't the first time. Mom came into the room. Girls, this isn't the time. Actually, it is the time. I was tired of being the responsible one. Tired of being called selfish. Tired of Vanessa's performance. Since we're all talking about how I never help family, Natalie, I didn't say you never helped Vanessa started. You literally just said I thought family helped family in a room full of relatives, implying I don't help. So let's clarify exactly how much I don't help. I opened my banking app, pulled up the spreadsheet I'd been maintaining for the past 3 years. The one I'd created to track every single dollar Vanessa had borrowed and never repaid. October 15th, rent payment, August 22nd. Credit card minimum payment, $302,800. More family members were gathering now. Dad had come in from the dining room. Uncle Rob was leaning against the doorframe. Everyone was watching. I kept reading. June 5, TH. Emergency dental work, $1,200. May 14th, rent payment, $2,800. April, 9 TH car insurance, $380. March 20th. Credit card minimum payment, $340. Vanessa's face was getting red. Nat, you don't need to. I'm not done. February 2nd, rent payment, $2,800. January 15th, website redesign for business, $2,500. December 23rd, last year, Christmas gifts for client $800. I scrolled back further. November 7th last year. Rent payment, $2,800. October 19th, car repair, $1,500. September 3rd, security deposit for the Apex apartment, $5,600. The room was dead silent. Should I keep going? Because I have 36 months of payments documented. Every single one. Every text where you said it was an emergency. Every promise to pay me back next month or when the next client pays or as soon as my tax refund comes in. I looked at Vanessa. She was staring at her lap. Total amount over 3 years, $119,463. Aunt Diane's mouth fell open. Rachel, Gaspet. Grandma's hand went to her chest. $119,000. I repeated. That's how much I never help family. Natalie, that's Singwes, double. Quote's mom's voice was faint. That can't be right. It's absolutely right. I have bank statements, Venmo transactions, wire transfer receipts, every single payment documented with date, amount, and Vanessa's reason for needing it. Dad had gone pale. Vanessa, is this true? I was going to pay her back. When you've been saying that for 3 years, you haven't paid back a single dollar. My business was getting started. I had startup costs. I needed to invest in my brand. You needed to live in a $2,800 apartment you could unafford and drive a leased BMW. You could unafford and buy designer clothes you could unafford. My voice was calm, steady, all while running a business that generates maybe $3,000 a month. You've been funding your entire lifestyle with my money. Uncle Rob let out a low whistle. Jesus, Vanessa, it's not like that, Vanessa said desperately. Nat makes so much money. She lives in that tiny apartment. She drives that old car. She never does anything fun with her money. You thought, what? That because I live modestly, you were entitled to my money. That because I save instead of spending, I should fund your luxury apartment and your Instagram aesthetic. We're sisters. Sisters help each other. I did help you. For 3 years. I helped you so much I delayed buying my own house. I helped you so much I am still driving a 2015 Honda because I could unafford the car I actually wanted. I helped you so much that I have $119,463 less in my savings account than I would if I just said no the first time you asked. Mom found her voice. Vanessa, you told us your business was doing well. You said you were making good money. I am making good money. $3,000 a month isn't good money when your rent is $2,800. Dad's voice was rising. How have you been surviving? I have other income streams. Like what? I asked. What other income? Because from what I can see, you post motivational quotes on Instagram, you take photos of yourself in expensive places, and you charge desperate women $500 for Zoom calls. That's not a business. That's a performance. You don't understand entrepreneurship. I understand math. I understand that your expenses exceed your income by about $2,000 per month. I understand that I've been subsidizing the gap. What I don't understand is how you convinced yourself that was sustainable. Rachel spoke up quietly. Vanessa, when you asked me for money last month, you said it was because Natalie had cut you off. You said she was being cruel and you were desperate. I turned to Rachel. She asked you for money, $1.5. I said no, because I'm saving for my wedding. She called me selfish. She asked me for $800 3 weeks ago, Aunt Diane said. Said it was for business expenses. I gave it to her. One by one, family members started speaking up. Cousin Mike. She hit me up for $500 in September. Uncle Rob. She asked to borrow $1,200 in July. Grandma, quietly. She needed $2,000 in June for what she called an investment opportunity. Vanessa was shrinking into the couch, her face scarlet. Mom looked horrified. Vanessa, how many people have you borrowed money from? I don't die. Kent, it's not. She couldn't form a complete sentence. Dad was doing calculations in his head. That's at least $5,000 from family members. Plus $119,463 from Natalie. That's over $124,000 in 3 years. And that's just what we know about, Uncle Rob added. Who else have you been scamming? I wasn't scamming anyone. Vanessa's voice rose. I was building a business. You have to spend money to make money. You have to look successful to attract success. That's how manifestation works. That's not how anything works, I said. That's called fraud. It's not fraud to ask your family for help. It's fraud to ask for money under false pretenses. You told everyone your business was thriving. You posted photos of your luxury life online. You positioned yourself as a success coach, all while being financially insolvent and dependent on family handouts. Justin, who'd been silent this whole time, spoke up. Nat, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell Mom and Dad what was happening? Because Vanessa always said it was temporary, that her business was about to take off, that she just needed to get through this one rough patch, and I believed her. I wanted to support her. I thought I was helping her build something real. Instead, you were enabling her to live a lie, Dad said flatly. I wasn't living a lie. Vanessa stood up abruptly. I am a successful entrepreneur. My business is growing. Just because I had some cash flow issues doesn't mean her phone buzzed. She looked at it, and her face went white. Then Rachel's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Credit card company? Why is Capital One calling me about your account? Vanessa. Aunt Diane's phone buzzed. Chase Bank. I don't even have a Chase account. I realized what was happening. You made them co-signers. Vanessa looked like she might be sick. You asked them to co-sign for credit cards, didn't you? Told them it would help your credit score. That you'd make all the payments yourself. I was going to make the payments, but you didn't. And now the accounts are in default, and the banks are calling the co-signers. I looked at Rachel and Aunt Diane. How much are the credit limits? Rachel was pale. It says here, I'm a cosigner on an account with a $12,000 limit. Current balance, $11,847. 60 days past due. Aunt Diane was shaking. Mine says $8,000 limit. Balance, $7,920. 90 days past due. Jesus Christ, Vanessa. Uncle Rob exploded. You destroyed their credit. More phones started buzzing. Cousin Mike, Grandma, Uncle Rob himself. One by one, they looked at their phones. One by one, their faces changed from confused to shocked to furious. You made us all co-signers. Mike's voice was dangerous. You told me it was just to help you rent the apartment. It was, but then I needed the credit cards for business expenses. Business expenses. I pulled out my phone again. Let me tell you what your business expenses actually were. I pulled up Vanessa's Instagram, started scrolling through her posts from the past year. 4-day trip to Napa Valley. Private wine tours. Michelin-starred restaurants. Hotel, with a $600 per night room rate. Total cost, probably $4,000. Paid for with Rachel's credit card. I scrolled more. Weekend in Miami. Oceanfront suite. Bottle service at 3 different clubs. Designer dress for each night. Total cost, probably $3,500. Paid for with Aunt Diane's credit card. More scrolling. Spa day at the Four Seasons. Massage, facial, body wrap, champagne lunch. I looked up at Vanessa. You weren't building a business. You were building an Instagram feed. You were creating the illusion of success while running up debt on other people as credit cards and using my money to keep your lights on. Vanessa was crying now, big, heaving sobs. I was trying to make it work. I was trying so hard. You have to look successful to be successful. You have to invest in yourself. You invested in selfies. Dad's voice boomed. You spent over $100,000 of other people's money to take photos for the internet. My followers. How many followers do you have? Justin asked. Almost 8,000 followers, and you're making $3,000 a month? That's not a business. That's a hobby that destroyed your family's finances. Mom sat down heavily. She looked like she might cry. Vanessa, how could you do this? How could you lie to us? I didn't mean to lie. I wanted you to be proud of me. I wanted to be successful like Natalie and Justin. I wanted to prove I could make it on my own. But you weren't making it on your own, I said quietly. You were making it on everyone else's money. There's a difference. The room was silent except for Vanessa's crying. Then Grandma spoke. Her voice was soft but firm. Natalie, what are you going to do about the money? Vanessa owes you. I don't know. Grandma. Are you going to sue her? I hadn't even thought about that. I don't know. I just want people to know the truth. I'm tired of being called selfish when I've given everything. You've given more than everything, Dad said. You've given 3 years of savings. You've delayed your own life to fund hers. And I'm done. I told her 2 weeks ago I couldn't help anymore. That I needed to focus on my own goals. That I was buying a house and I needed every dollar for the down payment. She said, I was being selfish. That family is supposed to support each other. That I'd regret not being there for her when she finally made it big. Made it big. Uncle Rob laughed bitterly. She's $250,000 in debt across multiple people. The only thing she's made big is a financial crater. Aunt Diane was on her phone. I'm calling my bank. I'm removing myself as a co-signer. I don't think you can do that, Mike said. Once you're on the account, you're liable for the debt. Then I'm filing a fraud report. She told me it was for an apartment, not for credit cards she was maxing out. That might be criminal fraud, Justin said slowly, obtaining a co-signature under false pretenses. Vanessa's head shot up. You wouldn't. You're my family. You wouldn't send me to jail? You destroyed our credit. Rachel's voice was shaking. I'm supposed to apply for a mortgage in 6 months for my wedding. How am I supposed to do that with a defaulted $12,000 debt on my credit report? I'll fix it. I'll pay it all back. I just need time. You've had 3 years, I said. You've paid back exactly $0. Why would we believe you now? Because I'll change. I'll get a real job. I'll sell my stuff. I'll move somewhere cheaper. You should have done that 3 years ago. Dad stood up. Vanessa, you're going to do the following. Tomorrow, you're listing your car for sale. You're getting out of that lease and buying something you can afford with cash. You're giving notice at your apartment. You're moving somewhere that costs less than $1,000 per month. And you're getting a job. A real job. 9 to 5. With a paycheck and benefits. Dad, my business. Your business is closed as of today. You're done coaching people on luxury lifestyles you can't afford. You're done taking photos for Instagram. You're done pretending. Do you understand me? Vanessa looked at Mom. Mom, please, your father is right. T-Sense now, you'll move back home if you need to. But you're getting your life in order. And you're going to pay back every single person you owe, starting with your sister. I can't pay back $119,000, then you'll pay what you can. $500 a month. Every month, for the next 20 years if that's what it takes. But you'll pay. I'll help you make a payment plan, Justin offered. A real one, with a budget and everything. No. Vanessa looked around the room, at 15 family members who now knew the truth, who now saw through the Instagram filter to the fraud beneath. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I never meant for it to go this far. But it did, I said, and now we all have to deal with the consequences. I stood up. I'm going home. Natalie? Wait, Mom started? I came here for Thanksgiving dinner. Ate? Now I'm leaving. You all know the truth now. What you do with it is up to you. I grabbed my coat and purse, walked toward the door. Nat? It was Vanessa. She'd followed me to the foyer. I really am sorry for all of Italiano. For using you. For lying. For calling you selfish when you were the only reason I didn't lose everything. I looked at my sister, at her designer clothes and her perfectly styled hair and her tear-streaked face. I forgive you, I said, but I'm done helping. You're on your own now. Figure it out. I will, I promise. I'll get a job. I'll move. I'll pay you back. Good do. Do you think we can still be sisters? After this, I thought about it. About 3 years of late-night panic texts. About $119,463. About being called selfish in front of 15 relatives. I don't know, Vanessa. Ask me in a few years, after you've paid back at least some of what you owe, after you've proven you can take care of yourself. I left. Outside, the November air was cold and clean. I sat in my 2015 Honda, the car I was still driving because I'd been funding my sister's BMW, and just breathed. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Thank you for saying something. I've been covering for her for months and I didn't know how to stop. Another text. Aunt Diane, you're incredibly patient. Most people would have cut her off years ago. Another. Justin. I'm sorry, Nat. I had no idea. I should have noticed something was wrong. I drove home to my tiny apartment, the 900 square foot one bedroom that was perfectly adequate for my needs, but not impressive. Enough for family gatherings. The apartment I'd stayed in because I was saving for a house. The house I would have been able to buy 2 years ago if I had been financing Vanessa's fantasy life. I sat on my couch and pulled up my banking app. Looked at my savings account. I'd started with $180,000 3 years ago. I'd added roughly $60,000 per year in new savings. I should have had $360,000 by now. Instead, I had $190,000. Because $119,463 of my savings had gone to Vanessa. But starting tomorrow, every dollar I earned would be mine to keep. Starting tomorrow, I could finally buy that house. Starting tomorrow, I could stop being the invisible safety net for someone who never appreciated the fall I was preventing. My phone rang. Mom. I let it go to voicemail. Then I listened to the message. Natalie, honey, I'm so sorry. I had no idea what Vanessa was doing to you, what she was asking of you. You should have told us. We would have stopped it. We would have helped. Please call me back. We need to talk about this as a family. I deleted the message. Then, I opened my laptop and started browsing real estate listings. 3-bedroom houses in good neighborhoods. The kind with yards and 2-car garages and home offices. The kind I'd been dreaming about for 3 years while my money disappeared into Vanessa's black hole of fake success. I found one I liked. $425,000. Mid-century modern, hardwood floors. Updated kitchen. I had enough for a 20% down payment. I could afford it comfortably on my salary. I favorited the listing and called my real estate agent. Janet, it's Natalie. I'm ready to start looking. Can we see some houses this weekend? 3 days later, I was walking through the mid-century modern when my phone rang. Vanessa. I almost didn't answer. But curiosity won? Hello, Nat. It's me. I wanted you to know I did everything Dad said. I listed the BMW. I gave notice at my apartment. And I got a job. What kind of job? Administrative assistant at a dental office. $42,000 a year. It's not glamorous, but it's stable, and they have benefits. That's good, Vanessa. I'm moving into a studio in Westwood. $950 a month. I found it on Craigslist. It's tiny, and the kitchen is barely a kitchen, but it's what I can afford. Good, and I'm starting payments to everyone. $200 a month to Rachel. $150 to Aunt Diane. $100 to Mike. And $500 to you. Every month. I set up automatic transfers. I did the math. On her $42,000 salary, after taxes, she'd take home maybe $2,800 per month. With $950 rent and $950 in debt payments, she'd have $900 left for everything else. It would be tight. Really tight. But it was possible. That's a good plan. I'm sorry, Nat. For everything. For taking advantage. For lying. For calling you selfish when you were anything but. I know. I'm going to make this right. It'll take years, but I'm going to pay back every dollar. Okay, we hung up. Janet, my real estate agent, was watching me from the kitchen. Everything okay? Okay. Yeah. Just my sister. Learning to be an adult. Good for her. So what do you think of the house? Good. I looked around at the vaulted ceilings and the natural light and the yard visible through the back windows. I think I want to make an offer. 4 months later, I moved into my house. My house. Paid for with my money. No one else's name on the deed. Vanessa sent a card. It said, "Congratulations on your new home. You deserve it. Fin de. Ube." Inside was a check for $2,000. The first payment I'd ever received from her. 4 months of $500 payments, I deposited it. 6 months after that, I got another card, same handwriting. Inside, 1 year of payments. Only 9 more to go. Thank you for not giving up on me. VI put the card on my refrigerator. I didn't forgive her. Not completely. Not yet. But I was getting there. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is stop catching them. Stop enabling them. Stop funding their delusions. Sometimes you have to let them hit bottom so they can finally learn to climb. And sometimes, if you're lucky, they actually learn. They get real jobs. They move to affordable apartments. They make payment plans and stick to them. They grow up. I'd spent 3 years and $119,463 trying to save my sister from consequences. The best thing I ever did for her was stop. The best thing I ever did for myself was show everyone the receipts. And the best thing that came from Thanksgiving dinner, besides the truth finally coming out, was this: no one ever called me selfish again.